Sorry about that. Okay, hang on. Let me go in and set everything up. I'm really excited about this show. I'm going to tell you and everyone, I am burnt out. I have done so many shows this month with Morgan being gone. We loaded up the schedule, or we agreed to load up the schedule. She loaded up, did a great job. I knew it was a big month. I knew it was important. So I didn't function a whole lot unless I was on broadcasting. I think I did okay there. But I'm really excited. I had to cancel 2 shows today. I apologize publicly, Allison Engel and Sean Christopher. I forgot about another one, Michael Muir, who's going to be coming on in about 4.5 hours. But this show, we had a little mix-up on, and so I'm really happy that I can try to get the cobwebs out and concentrate on this. Let me just pull it up and make sure that we're good. And we're going to roll this out in just a second.
Okay.
Our guest, our sister here, and I haven't talked at all. so we're just going to do this typical Soulogy style: spontaneous, intuitive, creative, imaginative, and courageous.
Lost you again.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay, you're there.
Yeah.
I can't see you. I can only see me.
It's okay. As long as we can hear each other. And if anything happens, just pop out and come back in. But I don't know what's going on. We have had this is the 9th show in a row. We've had weird anomalies, which are not anomalies. I think they're the frequency of the whole vortex of the people watching and the 2 people on screen. I think this is what's happening. Let me say a big hello to Jenna Harmon and congratulations on your newborn baby and another addition to your family. God bless you. Just peace, love, comfort, success, happiness, bliss to you and your family. And thank you for being a big supporter of Soulogy. Francine Caruso, Terry Willette, Mary Cooper's here every day, every show. Demetrius is in the house. TL, my dear sister from Sedona, is here. Yvonne from Tasmania, same. Kristen Skiba's here. Brendan RB, Kim Atkins, Soraya Williams, Fiona Morris, Karen Fenstermacher. I'm doing all right. Angel Divine's in the house. Linda Winger, Maria Williams, A. Nicole Wilkins, Andrew Rawlings, Simone Boyce is in the house. We got to get Simone back. And Karen Hobson and Linda Lundgren. I got to stop there because they're coming in too fast. If these shows resonate with you, please share. So we can stay above the Facebook algorithms. We're getting these weird technical anomalies over the last 9 shows, including this one. We have a special show here, really special. I had no idea the pedigree of our guest. I guess that's probably not a great word to use, but she's been doing this. She's been doing this a long time in a very deep way. So I just want to welcome everybody and Victoria to SoulSpeaks 5D. Thank you for sharing space with us and honoring us with your presence today. Let me give you a little background on.
Thank you.
Just a little bit, because there's so much information here. I could do 10 shows with this woman in 10 days and not cover half her stuff. Victoria is a contactee since age 5. She's been blessed to receive positive visitations, visions, teleportation, and transmission over many years. She has a clarity and accuracy that has been recognized worldwide, i.e. predictions occurring on precise day and time. Near-death experience in 1981, where she was shown our present Earth changes and the arrival of the second Earth in parallel reality. Victoria has shared her uplifting message, benevolent encounters, and angelic vocals internationally on TV and radio since 1997. An award-winning documentary film producer of encounters with angels, UFOs, and divine messages. She's a gifted healer since age 17 and a clinical therapist for 36 years. Her website is victoriaslight.com, and we've got a whole bunch of other information for you. Welcome to the show, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Todd. I appreciate, with all the weird glitches that are going on. I put an event on the other night, and we had all kinds of weird things happen, so I'm happy to be here with you. Thank you so much, and for all that you are doing for humanity. I just want to acknowledge you on behalf of the universe for what you are doing for all of us.
Well, the only thing I'm doing is getting on the camera. There's other people involved, but I do appreciate what you're saying. I just want to recognize Michael Van Patten and, of course, Morgan Lee as well, and the energy of Soulogy, which is everybody here. You know, what was it? Would have been February. So Morgan left March 3rd. And there was just this, I was like, load up, March, load it up. I feel it. It's got to happen. There's something. So she loaded it up, and then and she kept telling me, you know, in February, she kept saying, there's this lady, she takes these videos of these starships. And I said, I know, I've seen it. Do you know her? And she's like, I'm trying. So it happened, and I thought that, because I hadn't really gone into it too much, I thought that was, and that's very, you know, profound in itself. But I thought that was the depth of it, the entirety of it, or the gist of it anyway. But we have you know, you have so many other things that you've been exposed to, and for so long. So it's really a unique situation here on Soul Speaks 5D, which is almost 1,000 episodes now. So I think that I'm just going to hand it over to you. I usually, what was it like to be 5 years old? Did you have memories of the first contact, or did it come later?
Oh, absolutely. Well, let me reel the time clock back just a little bit, Todd. Yes. In 1947, my father was coming through the Reno Desert, past Pyramid Lake, and he came upon a man standing on the side of the road in biblical clothing. And my father used to work for the Secret Service people. He had left that life, but he chased Russian spies and all of this stuff about UFOs. And so he came upon this man, and he was always picking up hitchhikers. So he picked up this man. He got in the car, and he proceeded to tell my father all about the universe and all about his life. And then he told him about me, but I wasn't born yet. And my dad was a bachelor at that time. And so my dad kind of laughed, and he says, well, I don't think I can have kids. So he just, this man put his hand on my father's body in the car and blessed him. And then he got out of the car, and he dematerialized in front of his eyes. And my father told this story hundreds of times. I was always there in the room somewhere hearing it, and anyone in our family will tell you they remember the story. Well, my father did not know this being's name, but when I was 5, I was sitting in my bedroom, and I was thinking about the universe and how we are oblivious to all of the other life forms on other planets. I was such a deep child. And at that moment in time, I did have a visitation, and it was from the same man. And I didn't know till years later that it was Ezekiel from the Bible. Ezekiel was taken up in the chariot of fire. Well, I started filming his chariot of fire in 2000. And then his vehicle is what's been coming to me almost every night since December 10th. So, you know, as a child
of 2018, December 10th of 2018.
Yes, December 10th, this past December, and he's been coming every night. But the thing that was interesting, Todd, is that he came to me and he explained to me that I had a mission for humanity, that I was here to initiate something. Yeah. And I didn't know what the word initiate meant. I went to my father later and said, hey, what does that word mean? And then my father knew that I was the little kiddo that he gave him a a clue was coming into his life. And so I proceeded to have visions and 100% telepathic gifts with my parents and other people. And so everything came very natural for me. And then in, let's see, when I was 38, I was walking through the forest, and I was getting clairaudient telepathic information all these years. And I said, I've been very rude. I haven't asked you your name because, we don't really get into names when we go into the other space. Yeah. And he said, I'm Ezekiel. Yeah. And I've been with you since you were a child. And then when I was 40, he came in his vehicle on Christmas Eve in Sedona. I'd just come back from a Christmas service. And this glorious Merkaba, whatever way you want to say it, was right there in front of my friend and myself. And in 10 minutes, I filmed it. We could see all the spokes. We could see all the energy. I started to sing to the ship. And in 10 minutes, Todd, when I slowed the camera down in the studio later, over 400 pictographic images appeared. And those are the language of light. And I'm just going to show you really quick.
I can put it on the screen. Hang on. I've got it.
Yeah, this is the chariot. This is the chariot of Ezekiel.
Here, I'm gonna put it on here. Just 1 second.
And what's so cool is you can actually see the wheels and everything. So, all
right, now let me see here.
The language of light is what we all came in here for. I don't think you'd find it on. Oh, there you go, right in the middle there, hon. Right there.
Oh shoot! Hang on. All right, I'll keep going. Keep going off. I'll get.
So anyway, the language of light is what was given to us before we came here, and when we have these experiences, like the other beautiful people that you've had on the show that talk about the language of light. So many people are filming it now, but what it does when we view these language of light images, it activates through our third eye and communicates a remembrance. So, and we're all going up. A lot of people don't know they're going up at night, but they are being downloaded of information when they go up at night, and then they come back in their body at 2:22, 4:44, 11:11. They've come back into their body.
Yeah, let me ask you something. I think more and more people are aware that we've always known something goes on when we go to sleep, but that we are going up and something's happening. We may not have conscious recall of it, but we can feel it in our bodies. And there's just a lot of people talking about it. What is happening when we go up? When you say we're going up, what's happening there?
Well, our consciousness is teleported, and we have been going into caucuses, into orientation on the ships, and being enlightened and given information of what's yet to come. And so many people that come back and they say, well, darn it, I can't remember a thing. And I say, don't worry, it's okay, because it will be revealed to you at the appropriate time when you need to go into autopilot. Yeah. And but I've been remembering my experiences. I mean, they've been.
I'm sure you have. You just said something there, and I don't intend to stop you very much, but you've got.
That's okay.
You've got so much going on, and one of the things that we really try to focus on here on this show at Soulogy is the people that are waking up now, because everything that's happened to any of us is going to have the same pattern or the same thing. I mean, imagery or whatever the case is, in a frequency that will, that will be picked up on by those who hopefully are watching it, that have just woken up. Now, you said something about autopilot, and I just want to tell you that over the last 10 days, that what you just said to me is what I'm experiencing. It's like
Wonderful.
I was driving down the road, and this is not the first time. It's come like in waves, like an ebb and flow. And I'm saying this not for my own notoriety or anything. I'm saying it because I believe people need to hear it, because they're probably going through the same thing, right? And so what happened was this presence came in. I would have to call it my higher self, even though I don't really care for that, distinction. But I would have to say it was like that. I would have to say it was like this higher Todd has come in, sits with me a little bit, and says, "You're me, I'm you, and now we're going to do this thing." And it stays a while, then it leaves. But every time it stays a little bit longer. Is that what you're talking about with autopilot?
Well, a little bit. I believe that because of the parallel universe that I want to talk a little bit about here in a minute, but I believe that your other self is, coming and hanging out with you and saying, "Hey, we're getting close. It's time." And you could call that part of the autopilot. But I think, like when people are guided, all of a sudden they find themselves making some strange decisions, and they go, "I don't know why I have to do this, but I got to do it now. And nobody understands, but I don't care because my gut feeling is guiding me." And that is the autopilot.
Yeah. No, I get that. And I think a lot of people have been going through that. That's that whole one. You're going to do it, even though the human aspect's going kicking and screaming. All right. But I think what I'm talking about is more of a consciousness, more of almost.
Yes. And that too.
Yeah. It's almost like I'm observing myself, and
yes.
And it's not to be taken lightly, but at the same time, it almost feels like a little game or something, like a video game. But what I'm getting at is that it's like, you can breathe now. You know your divinity. You're eternal. Now we're getting to the mission. Now we're getting to the point of why we came here. And it's not like, oh my God, let's go raise up the flag. It's not like that. There's like this confidence and relaxation that comes over me. And it's actually, if I have to describe it, it's like that essence is just permeating through me at its own pace. And I guess maybe a way I can handle, and maybe that's a reflection of how this whole thing's going down for the collective. I don't know.
Well, you're being changed also. I mean, we're all being changed into light beings. And so you're feeling that divine presence stepping into you, and it's not leaving. It's staying with you, and it's assisting you on the next steps that you have to make, and the decisions that you have to make. And each of us we're being changed. A lot of people, they might not understand how fast they're being changed, but all of the strange ascension symptoms that everyone is having, that's a lot of it. And the other thing is that we're seeing each other's light. We're seeing this bright aura around each other. And one of these days, I promise, and when I've been shown something, I know it for sure, that we're going to wake up, Todd. We're going to go to sleep, and we're going to wake up in the other world. And we're going to just continue on. But we're going to be more in our light bodies, instantaneous manifestation.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
we won't be worrying about who's in politics and what's
Yeah, yeah,
happening with the monetary system. And I've
yeah.
pretty much detached from those things because I know what's coming. But, you know, when you mentioned something there, I wanted to share. When, let's see, it was 2010. And I've had quite a few near-death experiences, but this happened to me, and I was dealing, you know, I had had a blood clot in my lung and everything, and I had a vision on Christmas Eve, and I was walking through the snow. We've had so much snow here in Colorado. I mean, we're just almost, I mean, it's a blessing, but we're getting a little tired of it. And I was walking through the snow, but I was watching myself and another person. So I was watching a movie of myself and this other person walking. And I said, "Oh, I'm just so tired. I've got to lay down." And I laid down in the snow and I watched my light body step out of my physical form that continued to lay in the snow. And I watched my light body continue to walk on. I knew that that was definitely a sign of what is transpiring for us now. And
Yeah.
then the next night, I had another vision and I was walking through the snow again. And this time I was looking for everyone in my little resort town of Pagosa Springs, Colorado, and everybody was gone. Everybody had left. And I was just making sure that, you know, everybody made it.
Everybody got
Everybody
on.
got to
Everybody.
leave.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about what you brought up earlier, which is in your bio in regard to being shown the parallel and the new earth and that type of thing. I wanted to make one comment. I'm being directed to make a comment, which is involving your, you know, connection with Ezekiel. And the two things come to mind that I guess I'm being directed to put out. One is when I woke up 7.5 years ago, it was 7 biblical prophets, very real. Archangel Michael, Jesus, Magdalene, but these biblical prophets, these 6 biblical prophets, would talk to me every single day. And it was
Oh,
as I look back now, there was a galactic element to it that I think has something to do with the planet, or the star Aldebaran or Aldebaran. I don't know how to say it. It's the Eye of Taurus. And the reason I bring that up in part is because I also met someone when I was getting my life together and I was in rehab about 2 years into this. And he worked at NASA. And I remember him, we were talking one night and I remember him saying something to me because that was a time when I was still getting these ascendants every day. And, you know, and I would talk about it. And he said, "I've seen pictures I've seen that I can't talk about on the moon or on other planets. And I'm telling you
yes.
that those figures are real. Jesus is real. Isaiah is real." And it was like it just like embedded in my mind. And I thought, well, how does that work? You know what I mean? And then you bring this up about Ezekiel because last night I was it's funny. I was walking around. I was trying to wind down. I went for a walk on the land, and I kept getting something coming in, going, and it started with an E, and it had the same feeling that the 6 biblical prophets that started me.
Ah,
So there's something to that, and I want to mention that because I realize that so much of what people are being activated by is it's between the words, between the lines. It's just trying to come out, right? So what happened? What were you shown? And thank you for letting me share that. What were you
oh,
shown?
thank you for sharing. That's beautiful.
What were you shown as far as the new earth and the parallel universe, the reality, that type of thing? And when did that happen?
Okay, well, I was headed, my family lives in Salt Lake City, and I was living in Arizona at the time, and I would always stop in Lake Powell, and I'd film the ships, and they had told me, okay, you need to film yourself tonight, going out of your body. So I did. And it's cool because I actually start to smurf out into this blue energy. It was really cool. Well, in the morning, I spoke to the camera and I said, I was on a ship last night and I was shown two planets. I was shown our Earth and this other Earth. And I saw this catapultic kind of almost like a rocket going from one Earth to another. And I wasn't sure what it really meant. And then the next night, I was at my family's house for Easter weekend, and this was March. That was March 30th when I saw the two planets, and it was actually March 31st. Today's March 31st.
Oh my God.
I saw it in 1997 on March 31st. And I said, please give me another vision and give me clarity. And they did. And I was so happy. And what they showed me is I was on a balcony and people were in a frenzy of confusion like humanity is right now. I mean, it's pretty nutty out there. And there was this outrageous presence of this other planet coming closer and closer and closer to our Earth. You could see no atmosphere. All you could see was this planet. And they were going, oh, who are you and what do you want? And I said, oh, don't be afraid. This is beautiful. And that planet came right up to our Earth, just almost like bleeding into us for a moment. Now, this can all be symbolic. I'm not saying that this is the literal version,
yeah, of course,
but it was giving me the message. So it was right up next to our Earth, and I'm sure that anyone who's ready merged and collectively went through the doorway, the eye of the needle, if you will. And then the planets started to move farther and farther away from our Earth. And the firmament of the heavens, which is the clouds and the dolphins, were swimming in the firmament. And I heard a voice. And I know it was our Creator. And he said, Victoria, this is your new home. So that was in 97. 10 years after that, scientists said, oh, we found a second Earth and yada, yada. And then a couple of years ago, David Adair or David Muir on television was showing all the planets. And he goes, and yeah, we found this planet that looks just like Earth and it could house life and it has water and everything. So I knew at that time that that was part of the piece. But the rest of the piece transpired a few months later on August 27th, 1997, when Princess Diana passed away. And I had awakened about 4 a.m, and I was having a panorama vision in front of my face. And I saw myself walking over to the window, opening up the curtains, and I looked out, and the Earth had made the shift. So the streets look somewhat alike, the way they do now, except all the evil, all the chaos, all the stuff that we don't want was gone.
Yeah.
And I believe, and especially with, these symptoms that everyone's having right now, wanting to sleep more, and we're being worked with. And even, if you will, the story of the Wizard of Oz and how they fell asleep in the poppy field, and when they awoke, they were in Oz.
Yeah.
Well, all the time, some of those Oz songs just kind of start popping into my head, like hee 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 ho ho ho. You know, we're going to go to the land of Oz. You know,
I like the one
I
that,
mean,
that Mirror sings.
yeah, and then there's the one about the ding dong, the witch is dead too.
Yeah, or the lollipop game. We are the lollipop
oh
gang.
yeah, we welcome you to lollipop.
So you just said something. I don't want to lose it. Oh my God.
Okay.
God,
So
what were you just talking about?
So I believe that, you know, some people say, oh, you know, are we gonna go through pain before we make this transition? No, I believe that we're going to go to sleep and we're going to wake up, and we're going to keep moving on, and we'll have the instantaneous manifestation. We'll still have our projects and the people in our families that maybe don't understand us, that, like, you know, I'm kind of the goofball in the family, you know, but
yeah, we all are.
you know,
Now,
most of us are, and but it's okay, because they're going too. Don't worry about, well, I need to stay and help my family because they're not waking up. You know what? Everyone will be changed in a twinkling of an eye.
Yeah.
And we have great and glorious things to look forward to, and there's absolutely no fear. And this has been my reality for all these years, Todd, and it's given me strength to carry, you know, my friends and people. You know, we're all here as shepherds, and we're all sheep, and teachers and students, we just trade places. That's all.
So, yeah, wow. God, that was a lot. So, you know, one of the things I find really interesting is there seems, okay, so we have a certain disposition when it comes to what is physical reality, like what is within visible light, and what can we see and touch and feel and smell and taste and all that, right? But there's something else going on. Part of it is introduced by the alternate news, whistleblowers talking about things, secret space, all this and that. That's still, to me, a very physical thing. I watched a really interesting one this morning I was guided to by a guy named Jason Rice, who was totally resonated as in on the truth barometer, right? And he was talking about all this stuff, these agendas, and I realized that even in the galactic, okay, the galactic is like yesterday, right? Because even in the galactic, there's plenty of egoic. There's still wars. There's still ego. There's still power over, possession, and infringement upon your space, which is a violation of universal law. So this is coming from beyond that. Something's coming from beyond that. And I think that's where the focus needs to be, not just that it's there, but it's within ourselves. You know, we are capable. Do you think when, as you describe it, when we go to sleep and wake up at that time you're describing, that we will wake up into a reality that there is no death, and at least at a minimum we can live hundreds, if not thousands of years?
Yes, and those in our lives, our friends, those who are fighting illness, I have several right now I'm working with, because I work with brain tumors, and my light works through my body on their brain tumors and that. And I really believe that we will wake up and we'll be in that perfect state. Now, for many years they said, well, when you die, then you'll return to that perfect state. Yeah. But what I feel, Todd, is that it's not like death. This is, our physical suits are being changed. Now, a lot of people are leaving their physical suit and they're passing away, and they're waiting for us. Our pets, you know, my parents have been there for a long time, 40 years. Yeah. And, but they've come to me periodically and tell me and show me things. But what I believe is that when we have this experience, our bodies will be in our light body. There will be no illness.
Yeah.
We won't be worrying about the money that we make. We won't be worrying about who's running the world. And you see, I've experienced that parallel reality. One day when I was in Phoenix and I was preparing for a drive trip up to see family, and my doorbell rang, and there was a woman standing on my porch. Todd, she looked exactly like me.
Wow.
She looked exactly like me, but her eyes were a little bit bigger. I'm looking forward to having those bigger eyes. But anyway, anyway,
Talk about multiplicity, man.
she said, she had this strange accent, and she said, I'm looking for a place to live. And I go, well, I'm not the landlord here, you know, and she just kept repeating, I'm looking for a place to live. And she had a little boy with her. And I'll just be upfront and honest with you. I have children that are in the other dimension, Jacob and Jeshua, and they are actually on the ship helping organize things for what's coming. Yeah. But they would have been, 6 years old at that time. And this little boy, I knew it was Jacob later. I mean, I was sort of like spaced out. This is so surreal. And he was acting silly and bashful. And then I just says, well, I can't help you. The landlord's name is out on the street. I sent her away. And I sat down on the couch and I thought, oh my God, what did I just do? And I ran to the door and she was gone.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand the parallel universe at that time. This happened to me in about 2000. And so, I know that when we go to sleep and we think we've had a dream, a lot of times it's not a dream. We're experiencing that other world. When I go to the other world, I go, yeah, put me in that hotel room I stayed in last time. I really liked it.
Yeah, give me that champagne breakfast, the mimosas, and the shrimp cocktail. One of the things that I've noticed, one of the things that I've noticed over the last, certainly this month, I want to say the whole year, but really it's just amped up, has been the lucid dreaming. And not only the lucid dreaming recall that I'm observing that people are talking about, but within myself, but it's like in my lucid dreams over the last 2 to 3 weeks, Morgan's been in there almost every time. My kids, some of my kids, not all of them at the same time. Some of my kids have been with me all of the time. Her kids, my kids. And it's like the gap between, I don't know how to explain it, but reality and dream state, or awakened state and dream state, it's like coming together like a glove, right?
It's bleeding. It's bleeding through, Todd. It's bleeding through. That reality is bleeding through. That's what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I want to go back.
And
I just want to go back.
So it's such a great experience when you can have that experience being with Morgan and your children, and my dog's been coming. He passed away 95, and he'll be laying behind my knee, and I'll feel him, and I'll feel him jump off the bed, and I'll look really fast, and he's gone. But he came to me the night that they had the big earthquake down in was it Nicaragua or someplace like that, where he kind of showed me the vision before the earthquake happened. I saw it happening a couple of hours before it happened. That's one thing. I mean, I feel everything worldwide, all the earthquakes. I'm a tuning fork. I know if it's going to be in New Zealand or South America and so, but he came to show me that. So, and people say, hey, I just saw your dog walk past do you have a gray dog? I just saw a gray dog walk past the doorway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I go, yeah, he hangs out here. So, the thing I really want to stress is there's very little of us still here
What do you
in
mean?
this reality.
What do you mean?
Most of most of our most of your essence, most of my essence, like right now,
Yeah.
we're in 5D right now. We are. I mean, that's why you call it 5D speaks, but most of our essence is already engaging and doing everything in that other reality. And
Yeah.
there's very little of us, trying to, go to the post office and all the mundane 3D things here.
Well,
But
it's like
it's
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 like
not
you
it's not long. It's not long.
it's like you going back into the town and making sure everybody got out.
Right.
That's how always been my feeling since I woke up. And when I woke up, I would say things like, I don't even know what they mean, but I would always say, I'm not leaving till the last lost, struggling, straggling soul comes home. Period. Until
Right.
until then you turn the light off. you know. You
Well,
said,
there's so many of us. I mean, really, this is what I say on my post, Todd. I say whether you've been on the path or you're not even awake, but you're pure in heart,
yeah.
you'll be going. It's only the ones that are still trying to learn some lessons that might be the stragglers, and maybe they'll have to go through a few more things first. But
And honor their
but
and honor their path. I mean, in the
everyone, we
yeah,
all, yeah.
because in the
And
paradoxical complexity of the universe, what we may see is something that doesn't make any sense at all. Someone going through the gutter or whatever you want to, is serving some type of expansion for the collective in the fact that they're going through it.
exactly, and there's no judgment. I mean, one time I said to someone, because when I had my near death in 81, I went all the way, and Jesus was showing me all the earth changes and everything, and then he sent me back. And but I told people, I said, when I was up there, it's like, some of the people that are really wrapped up in their specific religion, and I say to people, when we're all together there, they're going to go, well, I didn't know that you'd make it up here, darling.
You sound like a true Southern
and
girl.
and so, it's going to be an enlightening experience for
Yeah,
people that perhaps have been a little bit much wrapped up in themselves,
yeah,
because really it's about oneness.
absolutely.
I mean, it's all oneness.
Absolutely. And, I want to go back to
Yes.
something you covered earlier, too, going back to Ezekiel and to these ascendants that were biblical prophets that were the faces of the universe that spoke to me when I woke up. The galactics as well. I just want to say that they're all part of it. It's all part of it. There is no this is in and this is out. I mean, and I think the real key to what I'm seeing happening with people is that we're actually stepping into ourselves. We're saying, I'm Todd. I'm only going to be Todd one time. And Todd is a divine essence, just like Ezekiel or just like anyone else and just like any of you.
Yes.
And our future aspects and the sons and daughters of our future aspects will pull from you. They will pull from me. They will pull from the people that are watching this or on the replay. They will pull from their journeys, the consciousness and the courage. But we're to me, and let me get your opinion or your reflection. To me, it's like we're going to take this dense physical body and realm and environment, and like you said, go to sleep one day and wake up, and we're still going to be carrying it, but it's going to be the highest dimension because it's integrated such vast polarities that this universe has ever seen. This is a huge mission, and I think people need to give themselves credit. What do you think?
And this has never happened before. Um, you know, back in, through the thousands of years when, like, say, the lost tribes were disappeared, they were not to be found. They were relocated onto the other planets, and we're going to move into galactic communities, and it's, I think some people, it takes a lot for them to grasp it, but just when you go to sleep at night, everybody, just give permission to your subconscious mind to let your walls down and ask your angels and guides and the masters and whoever else, the Galactic Brotherhood of Light, to work with you and help you so that you have clarity when you awake in the morning, and you will find a lightness of being. You will feel peace. You will feel exhilaration and anticipation for the great changes that are coming for us.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. You bring up a great point, really. I mean, there's so much stuff out there, it's overly complex. And you can really bring it back down to these basic little things. That's all we need.
Simplicity. Yes, I can't do a long post. I have to just be precise because I'm kind of dyslexic. I can hardly read everything.
It's because you're an ET, man. No, but
Because what?
I said I was making a joke. That's because you're an ET.
Actually, I'm an ultra terrestrial.
You're an ultra terrestrial.
And I'm a first generation hybrid. I mean, Ezekiel made it possible for my father to let me come in here. So,
but the thing that you bring up that we so often forget, and I can, without even taking a poll, I can make this statement adamantly, and that is, knock and the door will be open, ask and you will receive. I've heard over and over again, it's a free will realm.
Are you there? I just lost you. I can't hear you, Todd. I think we're having another glitch.
Yes, I think so. What do you think? Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can see you.
This is crazy.
Can you see me?
Yes, my camera is doing the crazy stuff. What did I say? 9 shows in a row? 9 shows in a row this has happened. Oh my God.
Well, I'm glad I get to see you.
Oh, you haven't seen me the whole time? The whole time?
No.
You haven't seen... Oh my God.
The whole time I haven't seen you.
Oh, wow. This is whoa. Well,
you were in the middle of saying something and I didn't hear you. So.
Oh, I was just.
You were talking about.
What was I talking about?
About the masters and everybody.
What I was talking about is I always try to break it down to the most simple thing. And if I think about it, the one thing that I can absolutely hang my hat on in the the tightrope of the physical and the non-physical, the 0 point, whatever, what works, give me the answer, is ask and you will receive. Every time I've asked in my life, every single time since I was a little kid, to whatever face of the universe I thought was God or goddess, has always been answered. Always. Without fail. And I think every one of us can say that. And as I understand in my own field of consciousness what I'm getting, it's always the same thing. We cannot intervene for you. All you got to do is act. And I look at these situations in my life, in my relationships, in Soulogy, and it's always about non-communication, not with each other, with our team, with the universe. That's all we need to do. And I know it sounds so simple and cliche, but it always works.
It is simple. And one thing I feel I want to share with you all is that, I'm not wrapped up in organized religion, but I have had a relationship with Jesus since I was a kid. And I'd go to Sunday school and I'd say, well, you talk about him, but I know him. Yeah. And I know that this is my 33rd incarnation here on this planet. And I did walk with him in Galilee, but a beautiful thing happened to me on April 27th, 2014. I'd had a bad dream because I'd had a stuck gas pedal a year before and almost left in that escapade. And I got up to get a drink of water. And when I came back, I was standing in front of the window. And all of a sudden, it became a vision of the Garden of Gethsemane at nighttime. Wow. And if you've ever seen a picture, you know what it looks like. But Jesus wasn't in the garden. And I had my hands up here to my heart. And all of a sudden, I looked down. Todd, there was a hand here and a hand here. He was standing behind me, holding me, and his face was 10 inches from my face. Yeah. And I said, oh my gosh, Jesus, have you come to take me? Is it my time now? Is it time? Because I already died in 81 in surgery, and my car's hydroplaned across 3 lanes of traffic. I've been on planes that lost engines. I just, I've had lots of opportunities to leave. And I said, is it my time? And he says, it's time, but it's not your time. It's humanity's time. Now, this was 2014, and a week later, all the hot shots died in that fire in Arizona. And I empathed that while it was happening. I felt like I was burning up and everything. But I said to him, so what do you want me to tell the people? And he said, every day, do something good for yourself, something loving for yourself. Every day, do something good for someone else and serve others. Every day, be in joy. Every day, be in forgiveness and non-judgment. And just be in the moment and know, because in the blink of an eye, we will all be truly one with him. And he is real. And when he had his hands on me, Todd, since then, I have to tell you in all humility and so thankful, but there's an energy that's, has remained in my body. And so I've touched over 30,000 people since 87 in my healing practice. And when I touch people, even if I touch my own arm, Todd, there's something, there's it's an energy that's different than anything it's not Reiki, it's just, I am a kahuna, and I have been doing kahuna healing for a long time, but this was different, and people know it, and I only have to touch them for 1 second and they feel it. I believe that each of us, we all have this opportunity to embrace this Christ light, this divine light. And I know there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of things on the internet and they feel like they're informing everybody, but that's still the 3D. And the
Yeah.
more we're tempted to watch and listen to those things, it holds us in this dimension.
Yeah.
And I mean, in all respect to those people, I appreciate what they're doing, but that's not my reality. I don't think it's your reality, because we've been touched, we've seen, and time is of the essence. And I've been having strong feelings that, things that were supposed to take place the end of this month in my own personal 3D life. They keep telling me that I'm not even going to be in this reality, that we're going to step through the doorway really soon here. And
I feel something big building. I wrote Morgan last night, and I told her, she would tell me for these 3.5 years we've been together, she would always tell me, because she had a lot more experience in it, like 15, 20 years. And I didn't know anything. And she would always say, something's coming in. Like, something's coming in collectively. I can feel it. I don't know what it is, and so on. And she would always tell me that. And then, but yesterday, it happened to me for the very first time. Now, I could feel like I would tell her, like when March was coming, I'd say, you know what? March is going to be huge. I can feel it. But this was different. This was energy that actually came in early in the day. I was a little bit wobbled and discombobulated. I did like 3 or 4 shows, and that kind of anchored
was that
me.
on Friday? Was that Friday?
That would have been Saturday here, which I'm behind you. So, but I don't know what time it happened. It may have happened in the early morning, Saturday, late Friday night. I don't know. But what ended up happening was I went for a drive just a mile down the road. My legs from the hips down started vibrating, like really vibrating. Like, I know I'm not imagining this. This is actually a physical thing. And it went on for like half an hour. And I got that something huge has come in, almost like it's building, but like something really anchored. And I don't know what it is, but that was the first time I've ever actually gone, hey, that's not me. It's getting to me. I feel it, but this is something really big, like Earth, through the whole Earth. Yeah.
Well, it's like the parallel universe is this holographic Earth. It's the pristine Earth that we have longed and hoped for. We're on the boot camp. This pristine Earth is starting to position itself like an overlay on us, likened to my vision, but it's come, and we will. It's like riding a wave. It's like surfing. We've got to get the rhythm, and we have to trust and not be in fear. And when I know what the vibration you're talking about, because my bed shakes, and it's not the bed, it's the shaking from my body that is making the bed shake. When somebody else has been on the bed, they're going, oh my gosh, is this an earthquake? And I know it's
one
me.
Of those machines they used to have in the hotels where you put the quarter in and the whole bed.
Well, I have one of those Black & Decker sander kind of vibrators, that I can put on people. But see, we are all vibrating. And another cool thing I want to bring up is that when we start to go to sleep and we're just starting to let go, people can feel themselves vibrating, and they're going in their own Merkaba. And I don't know, let me just show you something real fast here.
Let me put you on the screen solo so we can see it. Okay.
Okay. This is my Merkaba, and it has appeared over and over again in sacred sites. Yeah. And a shaman took this photo in Peru, and he said, "Victoria, you celestial, you go to live on another planet." And he sent me a postcard, and I couldn't read it because it was in Portuguese, but he drew that image of that diamond shape coming out of my head. Now, over and over again, and it's not lens flare, it's been studied, but mine started showing up on film in 1994. And we all have our own Merkaba energy field. And even Dr. J.J. Hurtak, I'm sure you know him, he wrote The Keys of Enoch, and he's been in the Merkaba. I've been in the Merkaba. The Merkaba is what's been showing up outside the house. But everybody has their own Merkaba energy field. And so they'll start vibrating when they're going out of their body. And then they're gone. They're teleported.
That's what I was talking about. I talked about it on a couple of shows. It happened, I think, the night of the equinox. There's a pasture next door, and I walked out. I was already having some things happen. I walked out into the middle of the pasture, and I could see, I thought it was like 5 or 6 beings, and I could feel it too. I was like, "Are you ready?" "I'm ready." You know, and so it was like they were all standing there, but then it started to swirl around me, you know, and I could see the energy. It was translucent, but I could see it, and I thought, I'm about to take off, and I kind of freaked out. You know, I kind of like stopped it, you know, with my resistance, but that was very real. And that sensation I had last night sitting in the truck, you know, that was like, you know, that was, God, that I would have to say, like, my lower half, my legs, particularly my left leg, was like it left the body. Like it was somewhere else. It was like part of it, like it was trying to leave or something. I don't know. I've got this, there's so much stuff that you have. I started looking at it way too late. One of them is this YouTube video, Encounters with Angels, UFOs, and Divine Messages film. It's a little short 4-minute, 30-second clip. Do you feel this would be relevant to play?
I think it would be nice. Yes.
Okay. Let's.
If you can.
I can do
set up to do that.
Yeah, I can do that. And just let me know. This is a new thing I'm doing, so let me know if there is sound.
It's just a little trailer.
That's okay. Let's see what we can do with it. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah. Okay.
Usually. Can you hear it?
I can.
Okay, good.
I'm Victoria Liljenquist. Welcome to my world of magical experiences with angels, UFOs, and divine messages. There's enough room for all of us in there.
It sure looks like it.
So much material that's transpired on still photography and film that has been beneficial to helping people have a confirmation of maybe something they've seen as a child that they might have thought was their imagination, and when they see it on film they get very excited. I had seen this large UFO saucer right over the top of my house, so I quickly grabbed my camera and filmed it. Interestingly, I did not see what you see now with my physical eye, but only discovered it when I slowed the extraction down on my machine, and lo and behold, you see real definition of this UFO.
Victoria is great at being able to do this. She has a lot of film footage, and I think she is a galactic ambassador to, and part of her mission or her piece is to show this to the world, to bring it to the world, to show that these things do happen and to bring through the proof. That is what she does, and she's very good at it. Victoria has an incredible voice, and it's her voice tone or the resonance in her voice that is able to call in these ships. It's like they can hear it through the dimensions or through the ethers, and that's what brings the ships about.
It is time for humanity to wake up, to embrace not only peace on earth, but peace in the universe, to learn and to know and to love their brothers and sisters of other worlds. Amazing pictographic images appear, transmitting from the UFO, penetrating our third eyes and helping us remember the story of this life cycle. This is weird.
Can you walk between the worlds? Can you see the other side? Can you hear the sound of heaven? Feel the joy to take the ride. They said it wasn't easy to move the veil away. They gave to us the freedom to discover our own way, reaching through the universe. The mysteries now I find,
There's so much stuff to cover with you. That was phenomenal. What was also phenomenal
you.
was that it was almost 20 years ago. How did you keep your sanity in this illusion of a world, having all this information and these contacts and all this stuff? You know, how did you keep your sanity? Were you in such a place that it never concerned you or wasn't a big deal? Or did you go through periods of questioning yourself?
I've never questioned myself. I've had some great friends that have been on this journey and they've witnessed the miraculous encounters that I've had. And but it's been difficult, I will be honest, to be in a regular kind of relationship. I'm married years ago. I raised 5 stepkids. I have 22 grandkids, but
Wow.
I haven't been married to my ex-husband for 25 years. But he believed in me. He said, you know, I know you're here to do something for humanity, and I just don't feel worthy to walk with you, but I believe in you. And it's been a bit lonely at times, but I'm married to the universe, Todd, and I never did doubt what was coming through, but I wasn't sure how I was going to reach the masses in a mass scale. But thank goodness for Facebook and social media. I've been able to do it from my living room, which I'm really grateful for. And when the Merkabahs started coming December 10th, just this last December,
Yeah.
they were eye level and so close. I thought the roof was on fire of Wyndham condos, just about less than a quarter of a mile from my house.
Do you communicate with the Merkabahs?
Yes. Yes. In
And
fact,
is there a significance to them coming and coming consistently since December the 10th, 2018?
yes,
Is there a message?
yes.
Okay.
And every time I'm filming, I mean, the audio's on and I'm transmitting what they say. I mean, I've been a clairaudient since I was a child, and so it's very natural. And I just say what, they say in my ear. But the interesting thing is, well, that first night, I hadn't been to sleep all night. And I just happened to look out and I thought, oh my gosh, So I started to film it, and then it came, a few nights later, and my friend had just passed away a week before, Jose Escamilla. He was, world renowned researcher, with the moon, and he died on 12/12, and so I was, thinking about him, and I felt like he was kind of tied in,
Yeah.
but they sometimes during the day, the day prior, um, I'll say, hey, I know you guys are coming in the morning, so I'm going to try to get some sleep because this 4 a.m. kills me, and they come, and a lot of times they'll want me to film 3 different times. They'll set off the smoke alarm chirp thing to make me keep going back out to film them more. And you will see on YouTube, if people just type in YouTube Victoria Liljenquist, you can see I've got about 18 YouTubes, but 9 of them were for a few years ago. But it's pretty amazing. But the beautiful thing, Todd, is that when people view the footage, they are being activated.
Yeah.
And so many people write to me and say, I just keep watching it over and over and over again, and my body's vibrating. And so I'm grateful for that activation that's happening to those people.
What's the overall intel with these visits beginning December the 10th of last year? What would you say is the
Well,
overall?
I think they just, they wanted something to be transmitted to start activating people, because they're getting us ready for this great event. I mean, it's all about what we're headed to right now.
Yeah. Now, some people talk about, and I respect everybody's reality, but talk about this flash, this event that will happen like in a blink of an eye, like the Bible says, a thief in the night. Do you look at that as more of a metaphoric, non-linear thing, or do you see it as something that could and maybe will happen in the blink of an eye?
I feel like it's already been happening since the equinox. When you look at the sun, and it's so intense. I mean, I can't look at it. I can look at it reflecting on the ice on the lake outside the house here, and as far as a huge flash, I think it's possible, but and I know. Well, my sisters, Sherry Tapscott and Rhea, and we're all, and Rosie, and Pamela Johnson, we're all on the same page,
Yeah.
and we're feeling. Oh my gosh, the energies are intense right now. It's not a lot of fun. I mean, it's like going to the dentist, and you're having to go through the motions of getting that tooth taken out. Or we are being changed, and I believe that the great flash, it is happening. I do believe that, like where I'm living, we've had so much overcast many days. I think it's protecting us a little bit from the flash. But when you see what is transpiring, even with the cyclone bomb blizzard that started in Colorado and moved across the country, all of these things are tied in with the upcoming energy from the sun. But I still believe that it's will be activated from those flashes. But
Yeah.
I still believe we're going to go to sleep and we're going to wake up in the other world.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's said that when that huge flash hits us, that people will wake up in the masses, and I've had visions about the people showing up the door the last minute. You know, a bunch of us were sitting with Mary and Jesus, and people kept showing up and waking up at the last minute. And I believe that the flash has a lot to do with activating the planet, as well as the Merkaba that I've been able to capture on film. I know it's helping people activate as well. But, you know, none of us know, Todd,
That's right.
exactly
That's
how
right.
it's going to look. But if we just stay in the moment, moment to moment, second to second.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I asked you when you were feeling strange the other day, it was Friday. I was preparing for a lecture I was giving, and I mean, I could do the lecture with my eyes closed, but I was putting together some new pieces of music. And do you think I could get the computer to work? No. It kept freaking out. Then in the middle of the lecture, the cord came out of the computer. The computer died in the middle of the lecture. And I just kept talking and rebooted it while, you know, I multitask. And these things are happening to all of us.
Yeah.
And we just have to really just go with it. You know, stop trying to overthink it.
Yeah.
It's
That's
in the
what I was,
heart. It's not in
that's
the head. It's in the heart.
that's what I was getting at earlier when you said that. I said it really is. There's a simplicity to it that's so simple and so right in front of your
Yeah.
face that it's the most difficult thing is just to get used to it. That is reality. And when I'm talking about, to use your example, or as an example, would be in my own life. It's like, forget about all this stuff out here. You're in a divine conscious union with a beautiful goddess. You have a role at Soulogy. That's it. Just put your time and energy into that. Have a good meal every now and then. Get some rest. Do a little exercise. That whole and it's that simple. It's like that. It doesn't even feel like it. It feels. I don't know how to explain it, but the magic that comes from it is inarguable. It's
You're
inarguable.
not in your body. You're not in your body. You're going through the motions, but you know that it's almost like your body is floating through those day-to-day
Yeah.
experiences. Isn't that what you're feeling, Todd?
Yeah.
You're kind of floating through them.
Yeah. I have this, especially since Morgan's been gone, I have this. That's why I can go on to the camera and do a show or do a radio show and do some music. And that's like grounding to me. That's like, it's like, they say chopping wood. At least I'm chopping wood. I'm doing something. There may
Yes.
be something I could do on a grander scale. I don't know, but I can hold on to this vibration by merging the physical with that non-physical feeling, and nothing but good will come from it. But yeah, the floating
Well,
thing applies to me like in the downtime. Like the floating thing for me is like, I got to wash my clothes. I got to wash the dishes. I got to run into town and go get some groceries. That's the floating time for me. I'm like, I literally feel like I'm in a video game.
well, I don't feel like I'm in my body most of the time. One thing that a lot of people might be feeling is all of a sudden, and maybe you feel this too, Todd, you get all of a sudden you're freezing. It might be hot outside, but you're so cotton picking freezing. And I will say that when I'm going on the ship, it's cold on the ship. I mean, I'm cold. I used to live in Arizona, and I would sleep in sweats in 100-degree weather, and it's because I was going out of my body. And a lot of people are feeling that. And I mean, so much is happening, but I feel like we're really at the pivotal point I mean, I wasn't even sure if this show was going to happen, Todd, because we're so close. That's kind of how I felt.
But but the reality is, will things change when, quote unquote, it happens? Will things really change? I really am starting to believe
Yes.
and feel that we're literally going to be what we are now, but
Yes.
defy death, defy any illusion, defy any limitation. So actually almost like bringing a new realm or dimension into the multiverse, you know?
It's really, it's like the projects that we have, the desires we have, the friends, the family we have. I feel that we're going to continue on, but our bodies are, I mean, our bodies are changing so rapidly and people are feeling it. Some people might connotate it to a medical condition, but we will be changed, but we will continue on together. But hey, it's been kind of a rough road. I mean, it's been a rough road for
To
me,
say the least.
for all of us. We've been towing the rope. That's what I say. We've been towing this rope. We came in awake, and now it's not so lonely because we found each other around the planet, and
Yeah.
you're bringing us together. God bless you. But I really feel that the less we try to describe it with physical words and just feel it, go into the oneness, go into the love, go into embracing and surrendering, letting go of what doesn't serve us, and you know, a lot of people say I've lost my appetite. I go, me too. So you know what?
And I can't stop
I go to the I go to the comfort food. I mean, I try to eat really good. I've been vegetarian for 30 years, but it's like, man, I got to have my carbs because my carbs keep me going.
Yeah. No, I love what you said too about
So,
don't overthink it. Don't have to see the physical. You know, I always tell the story about Dane Jones, this 23-year-old kid in South Florida. He lives on the beach, he's homeless, goes finds a coconut tree every day, eats a coconut, and anyway, he does a lot of lives. And I had him on, and I said, "So let me ask you a question. As a young person, what does the ascension look like?" And he says, "It doesn't look like anything, man. It's feeling." And I was like, "Oh shit, he got it." You know, I mean, but you're right. That's what it is. It's that. That's why I said it's so simple that you're like going, "No way, no way it could be this simple. No way it could just be following my heart, being in this relationship with Morgan, doing my role at Soulogy with an expanding team that all these other people have roles." And you know, how can it be that simple? But it is. It is. I'm convinced that
it
that's
is.
all
And
it is.
it's, you know, the most beautiful things in life, aren't they simple? I mean, you look at nature, you look at the beautiful things that we're surrounded with. I mean, there's some simplicity, and we're just stepping through. We're just stepping through a doorway, Todd.
Yeah.
Really.
I think it's a special doorway. I think this has been, up to this date, if you can use that in quantum, on the quantum timeline, this is the most expansive moment. And we're all valiant, courageous souls. We all were chosen to come here. And everybody deserves credit because this was it. Like you said, it wasn't that easy. So I'd love to get together with you. I'd love to get together with you again. I don't know what your
I
schedule
would
is.
too.
You know, in the next,
Hey,
there's so much. I mean, I haven't even read to the people everything you sent me. Yeah, I mean, you sent me so much stuff, which is because you have so much, such a comprehensive life experience and knowledge and experiences. And I'd love to dig into some of it because, I mean, there's got to be a few hours of programming in there. I mean, there's just.
well, there's lots of information on my website, victoriaslight.com, and there's also, they can go to YouTube, just type in YouTube Victoria Liljenquist, and you can see the different filmings especially, I don't know if you have time to show a smidgen of that wheel within the wheel, but that would be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Hang
on. Let me get this right. Hang on a second. I got to make this. All right. So what do I need to do? Okay. Oops.
Hey, I've done coast to coast. That's 6 hours. So believe me,
hey, I can go. I can go as long as you want to. Let me find where I'm at. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's see here. This is the website. This is victoriaslight.com. So you got home, blog, videos, photo gallery. Do you want to go to photos or videos?
Videos.
Okay. And all right, here's videos. Let's see here. It's taking a little while to pull up. Merkabah, March 17th, 2019. Which one do you?
Show that one.
Okay, March 17th, 2019. Let's go here.
I hope that's not the.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason it's a little bit slow on this. It'll
take a second, maybe.
Yeah, it'll be all right. We'll be all right. We made it this far. You didn't even think it was going to go off. Let me close it.
I thought
I'm going to close a window.
I was going to get a figment of my own imagination.
Okay. I'm going to do this. Okay,
Can you? There it is. So this is outside my house that I ran.
2019. And it's 6 a.m. and the ship is right outside, right above the roof of the condos. Here they are.
Holy crap.
There's the condos.
Okay.
Now where we gotta go? There he is. Okay. So
he had to lift off.
Oh, my brothers and sisters, my goodness. I knew that they'd be coming to let me film them this morning. I have this blessing that I know that I go on the ship at night and they teleport me and they show me things, and they are so anxious and they're happy that humanity's waking up and that people that were not open are starting to open their hearts and minds to realize that this dimension's changing, and it's a beautiful thing to see people start to remember who they are and how connected they are. And of course, the 17th of March, we've got a few days before the equinox, and they're expressing that we need to be ready, for these great changes. Many of you may know Dr. Hurtak, who wrote The Keys of Enoch, but he has spoken about moving to our galactic communities and uniting again with the Adamic race. And I know Dr. Hurtak. He's a wonderful, wonderful spiritual being and brilliant man. And he has spoken of the Merkabah vehicles for years and years in his book, The Keys of Enoch. And if you have the book, I encourage you to pull it out and even look at the glossary and become familiar with it.
Fantastic.
Okay.
This is well, I had to cut it off because my battery's about to go. I don't want to.
Well, and that's a 15-minute piece. So
Yeah. Well, you know, let's everybody. It's victoriaslight.com, and she's also on YouTube. But the YouTubes are on the site. If you have any trouble trying to get a hold of her, now, do you do energy work online or anything like that?
I do long distance with people all over the world.
Okay, so anyone, yeah, we certainly want to support you. Anyone who resonates, I guess they would contact you through the website or through Messenger. Which would it be?
They can just write to Victoria@victoriaslight.com.
Okay. So, yeah, for those of you who are still here with us live, thank you for coming in. Those are on the replay, thank you for coming in. If you'd like to reach out to her, go to victoriaslight.com and send her an email. She does energy work, and there's a whole bunch of stuff there. And I'll reach out to you in the next day or two and see if we can put a couple of 2-3 shows together to get into some of this stuff that you're into. There's my my warning that the battery's going to go down.
Thank you so much. God bless you, Todd. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And
okay.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Morgan, for convincing her. They only answer her. I'll see you later. Thank you for all the work.
God bless.
I'll see you guys.
Thank you.
3 hours.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Okay. Thank you so much.